Alright, let's talk about the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim Dawnguard DLC. This is the first expansion pack that Bethesda is releasing for the 2011 Game of the Year. It's going to have vampires in it, and vampire hunters, new castles, new places to go, new weapons, and I'm really excited for it. Cameron, you've played Skyrim, so what are your thoughts on the DLC?
Right off the bat, we noticed that it has a higher price of $20 this time. Now, usually Bethesda's DLC is around the $10 range, sometimes cheaper for like Horror Summer, which we all know we love, and sometimes a little bit higher for expansion packs such as Silvering Isles. Anyway, so what this usually will tell us is the amount of content in the actual, add-on, and
DLC.
Judging by this, the $20 price, I'm gonna guess that there's quite a bit of content in this. And from the trailer, you could kind of see this. You have full castles, you have new weapons that people have been asking for, crossbows,
hatchets and like tomahawks.
Yeah, hatchets, tomahawks, lots of good things. Now, there are a few things I have noticed personally from the trailer. The first thing being is the Elder Scroll. Now, I'm sure you guys know this from the main campaign of Skyrim. It's a main item.
It's an important item. That's why the series is called Elder Scrolls. But yeah.
Of course. But the thing is, like, this is the first Elder Scrolls to ever actually use an item as a main item. You kind of used it in the other ones, but this one it played a big role.
Yeah, so it looks like the Elder Scrolls is going to be very central to this quest line.
But see,
Just something new.
The thing is, though, at the end of Skyrim, the main quest line, when you had no use for the Elder Scrolls in the anymore, you could actually go sell it to.
I did. I sold it to the orc in the library at the College of Winterhold. It was. Now I'm starting to regret that.
Yeah, and I did too. But I'm pretty sure that either there's gonna be a different Elder Scroll. I'm not sure if there's multiple ones. They are scrolls.
There are multiple ones.
Yeah, so maybe it will deal with a different Elder Scroll, or maybe you can go back and talk to the guy and get it back. Obviously, you don't want to cut out half your player base by doing that.
Yeah, that would be a really cool storyline if, like, you sold it to the orc, so, like, that plays into the story, so you have to race the vampires to the college to get it from the orc before they do, so, like, you show up, the orc's, like, dead, and he's like, they took the Elder Scroll, and he dies or something. That'd be kind of cool.
That'd be very cool, actually.
Yeah.
And my second request is these cool new weapons that they're adding. Alright, so for the most part, that crossbow we saw seemed to be like a steel crossbow. It has the same, steel markings and wood. I'm curious if they're going to make it level with other weapons, or if they're going to have multiple crossbows, like an orcish crossbow, a dwarven crossbow, because, I mean, it's a cool weapon, but I don't want to throw it away just because I have a bow that's better.
Yeah, I don't want it to be like, oh, cool, a crossbow, and then never use it again and go back to my bow.
Yeah, I want it to be, I want to be able to play with it. Now, I'm on PC, and Sam's on Xbox, so...
You were on Xbox for a while. And you're going back to Xbox to play this DLC because, I just want to say to everybody, Xbox is getting this a month before PS3 and PC gamers, so that's, I think, why. That's awesome.
Funny thing is, actually, I'm not going back to Xbox. I'll be happily chill out for a month with mods and other content that I can get at any time where you cannot.
And you get to listen about how amazing it is, how amazing killing vampires is going to be.
Well, I'm a Wolverine. I mean, not Wolverine. I'm a werewolf.
Oh, I'm a werewolf, too. I probably won't be a vampire. Okay, I was funny. You were talking about the weapons. I've got something to add to that, actually. Bethesda, they did an interview, and they talked about that. There are going to be new weapons in the game. Like, now, you're going to be able to make dragon bone weapons. So, as anybody knows, you could make dragon armor in Skyrim, but you couldn't make dragon weapons. But now, they're introducing that in the DLC, and they said they're going to be more powerful than Daedric weapons. I'm excited for that. Because I would really like some new badass weapons.
Unless you had a specific mod released on the Skyrim Nexus. Haha, Steam mods win again.
It's amazing.
But yes, it is cool.
But let's talk about the DLC. Let's just talk about the DLC. Okay. It is coming for Xbox first. We're just throwing that out there. PC, of course, gets their awesome mods. We get our DLC first. I think everyone gets their fair share in the end.
Except for PS3.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But what's the other thing I wanted to say? That's right. You're going to Oblivion in this game. You can go into the Plains of Oblivion as Empire, or the Dawnguard, and just go and hunt around and kill all sorts of cool things, which I'm excited for.
Now, Sam, I do have a question, since you seem to be more logically based on this, like you have more info than me. The vampires in this DLC, are they related in any way to the vampires in the normal Skyrim game?
I'm not sure about that, actually. I'm very interested to see how that plays out, because as you all know, there are vampires, but they're not, like, super cool bat vampires that we're getting in the DLC. So I'm interested to see how that's going to play.
And Sam, you also mentioned to me this great plot idea you had with the blocking out the sun.
Yes, okay, here's my theory, everybody. The guy in the trailer, the evil vampire dude who sounds like Christopher Lee, not even really, but he sounds pretty cool. He talks about how the Elder Scrolls is going to be his, and the tyranny of the sun's going to end. And we see in the trailer that the sun is starting to get blocked out. His goal, him and the vampire's goal, is to get the Elder Scroll to block the sun so the vampires can come out 24/7 and feast on human flesh. And the Dawnguard, hence the name Dawnguard, their job is to defend the sun and make sure that the vampires don't block the sun. That's why they're called the Dawnguard. So I think the Elder Scroll is going to play a huge part in this because somehow you use the Elder Scroll to try to block the sun. And I think if you're a vampire, you can block the sun. If you play the vampire gameplay, I mean, you'll be able to block the sun. And if you're the Dawnguard, you get to keep the sun.
Now, do you think this would actually affect main gameplay, like in the Skyrim universe? Like, if you go back to the main game, like in the main game, if like you go back, will it be always nighttime? Do you think it would actually affect the main game like that?
I think it would. I could see Bethesda doing something like that. They would give you that option. Say, hey, look, there are consequences to this, but if it's really beneficial if you want to be a vampire, because you can go around 24/7 and just eat people's faces. But then the sun will always be gone, so you have to choose.
Yes, like, I would actually agree that this is entirely possible. I do have some doubts on it, but for the most part, I do think it could be a possibility. Due to
50-50 chance at this point.
Yes, because, like, if you remember back in Fallout 3, the different choices you can make could seriously, change the game.
Yes.
Like, you could radiate the water at the very end of the game, poison everybody.
I mean, this is also exciting just because it looks like there's also some new creatures. We see an ice giant somewhere in the trailer. There's new castles, new areas to explore. We see a dragon diving into the ice and going under the ice, and it's like gonna come out and eat your face. Like, it looks really, really interesting. I cannot wait for the DLC. There's gonna be mounted combat, which the PC has already had for quite a while. I can't wait. I can't wait to experience, more fun in Skyrim.
I agree. I also have to comment that the new demon vampire things that you were seeing in the trailer, they are very cool and very original, and it kind of makes it more fair because, us as werewolves, we got this cool non-beast form, and if vampires get that cool demonic form, I'd say it evens it up pretty well, makes it a good viable option to play either side, because right now, the vampires are a bit more gimped than werewolves.
Yeah, but speaking of that, Cameron, did you hear? There's going to be new skill trees. There's going to be a vampire skill tree, and there's going to be a werewolf skill tree added to the DLC.
Oh, very nice. I'm already level 81.
Isn't that awesome? Like, you can actually summon, if you play the vampire, there's a perk where you can actually summon a gargoyle to help you fight. That's pretty awesome.
That's actually very cool. The sad thing is already 81. Cool. Wait, so I'm curious though, will they increase the level cap now that they're adding new skills?
That's a good question. What is level cap? Is it 100?
It's 81, and how it works is once you get to 50, you get a soft cap, which means it takes longer to level up. The hard cap is actually 81, and that's when you max out all of your skills to 100. You don't get.
I'm sure they will. I'm sure they'll boost it up to 100. So there's like 10 more or something like that for the werewolf and the vampire skill trees. I don't know. That's just my theory. We'll see. I'm very excited. I'm definitely gonna get it. It looks very interesting. Skyrim's a lot of fun. It's one of the best open world games I think I've ever played, and I will always be comparing other open world games to Skyrim until I die. I'm just very excited for the DLC. That's my final thoughts.
Okay, Thomas, for someone that hasn't played Skyrim at all, do you have any opinions on the trailer and what you think of it, like the professionality of it?
I mean, it looks really good. It looks really well done. Considering it's $20, it sounds like it's like an entirely new campaign without having to pay for a new game, which just sounds great.
Bethesda's awesome.
I do agree, though. Now, see, that's the thing. We don't know exactly how huge it will be as far as content goes, but I'm hoping for $20 and the amount of time they've had to put into it. Yeah, that's another thing. It's been several months since the release of Skyrim. Usually, they usually release or announce DLC releases a bit sooner, but this is taking a lot longer. And
yeah, they talked about that. They said they wanted to take their time with it because the game was so successful. They said, well, okay, we got to slow down. We want to make the DLCs just as good as the actual game, and we want to improve on the game. So they slowed down. They took their time on this DLC, and I think it's going to pay off for everybody.
Which is very good. Back to my whole point about DLC. back when we were talking about Halo 4 and them releasing free content, that's a great way to do it. But this, a whole expansion pack, I will pay for this content if it's worth the money. And as Bethesda's been known to do, they definitely do make some great content.
Yep.
My point is, though, that I'm just hoping it does have the amount of content to be worth the $20. But knowing Bethesda, they usually pull through. So I have pretty good hope for this.
Okay, so we done? Looks amazing.
Looks amazing. Can't wait to play it.
Yep, comes out this July for Xbox 360. Alright, moving on to Elder Scrolls Online.